Hi there! In today's video I'm going to start a project where I'm going to build my own Google Home or Alexa style device. So the idea is that I'll get a Raspberry Pi and a microphone and a speaker and some sort of enclosure where I will put all those, and then I'll make it so that you can use your voice to communicate with the device. And of course we are going to integrate ChatGPT into it. But in today's video I would like to start by implementing the initial OK Google or Hey Alexa or OK GPT, so that after we say that special word, it will then start to actually listen to our voice. Because ultimately I'm going to use the OpenAI Whisper API for the voice recognition or the speech to text, but I don't want to send all of the conversations the device is listening to OpenAI. So we have to somehow locally detect when we say some sort of special word. So let's figure out how to do that. Now I am going to use Python for this project because I think we are going to have lots of pre-built tools to do all this stuff. So let's first try to generate some sort of voice recognition. So let's make a new file. Let's call it recognize.py. And I remember that there is some sort of library called audio-sphinx or something like this. It's some sort of sphinx, but it is not audio-sphinx. What is it? Sphinx, Python, audio. Let's try to find it. PocketSphinx. This is it. Is it? Wait a minute. Yes, it is a continuous speech recognition engine. Okay. And I believe that this is actually running locally. So this doesn't send it to any API. Now, in my experience, this is not very good, but I think it's good enough for this. So let's install PocketSphinx. And while it's installing, let's figure out how it works. I have used it once before, but I don't quite remember. So let's see. We have usage. Live speech. Now that's actually cool. An iterator class for continuous recognition or keyword search from a microphone. Okay, so actually this might be easier than I expected. So there's in fact a thing to do keyword search. So I thought I would have to do maybe even something like listening to the audio levels of the microphone and detect when there's some level that sounds like there might be that keyword, and then take that part of the audio and then transcribe that. But actually there's this thing already. So basically we can just do this, and then we can see if the key phrase that we want to use is in there. And actually, so the key phrase is here, forward. So we can put it there. We don't even have to detect it ourselves. Let's see if it's actually this good. So let's paste this in here, and let's directly, well, let's use forward. Okay, why is it forward? I don't know. But let's use this. And I'm going to reload my window because VS Code for some reason always forgets this auto completion or this syntax highlighting. So basically, if we do that and we run Python 3 recognize.py, then now apparently it is listening to my microphone, and if I say forward at some point, which I didn't say actually 2 times, I only said forward once, but every time I say forward, it is actually recognizing that I said forward, except for the last time. When I said forward, it is not actually using this microphone, it's my laptop microphone, so it's not amazing, because I didn't say forward that many times, but that's pretty good. So can we say something like, okay, GPT, can I have a comma in there? And this is one of the things that I am wondering how we should do, because this seems like a very weird thing to recognize. So I'm not sure if there ever will be OK GPT inside of the detection. So let's actually see what will happen now. Okay, it's missing in the dictionary. So what if I do OK GPT without the comma? Okay, that's not even there as well. So here's our first problem. But I think that we can solve this issue. So let's actually go to just this normal version. So we of course don't have to import it again, but if we only print the phrases in the live speech, then if I run this And if I now start talking, then it should print out all the words I say. And it is actually working. And it might be so that I have to stop speaking before it actually does any output, because there is nothing coming out right now, but if I stop, then it will do it. Okay, so what I could do is I could ask the user to say the word that it wants to recognize like 5 times. And then I can see how PocketSphinx will recognize that word. And then I can use that as the keyword. So for example, how should we do this? So if we say for I in range 5, we are going to do this. And we are only going to print and we're going to break right away. So we should ask for 5 phrases. And we can print here, please say, okay, GPT. And then here we can say print recognition finished. And then we might add here something like phrases. And it's a list. And every time we get a phrase, we are going to say phrases.append phrase. So then we are going to have a list of phrases that were recognized. And let's actually try to print them out. So let's print phrases. So if I now run this, okay GPT, okay GPT, okay GPT, okay GPT, okay GPT, then we recognized the following phrases, which are apparently live speech objects. So let's put just 3 times and let's make them a string. Wait a minute, how did it do it before? I have to make it a string here. Okay, so that's what I have to do. Because if I print the phrase, it will be converted into a string, I guess. Well, not really. But a phrase will have a specific way of printing. Wait, how does that work? I don't get it. Let's try this again. So if I now run this, and then I say, okay, GPT 3 times, then let's see if we can get the phrases. Okay, GPT, okay, GPT, okay, GPT, okay. So this is what we got. Oh, hey, do you do, and a beauty, and or a DVD. So we could recognize all of these things. And I was hoping that some of these would be the same. And we could actually keep asking until we get like the same thing 3 times or something like this. So let me try this again. Let's put 5 there now. And I'm going to say again 5 times, okay GPT, okay GPT, okay GPT, okay GPT, okay GPT, okay GPT. All right, and again we got completely different ones every time. Okay the, okay T, and okay TVD, okay he be, and 80. That is so bad. So they are all even different than the first ones. So how am I supposed to detect the words from this? What if I detect okay the inside of the original thing, so inside of the keyword search? Because maybe the keyword search works a bit differently because it knows that it is looking for this key phrase. And there's like a threshold here. And in fact, we could just put the key phrase as the phrases 0. Now, of course, we should get like the most occurring phrase, which we can probably get easily in Python. But let's just try to get the first one. Let's do a print. Now speak, and I will just ask it 1 time. So let's see if this now can recognize OK GPT from my speech after I say it once. OK GPT. So now if I speak and I say OK GPT, then it doesn't work. OK GPT, OK GPT. Okay, now it detected it. OK GPT. Okay. Maybe I can play around with the threshold. So what if I say, oh, did you do? Then it did recognize that one. Okay, so what is the KWS threshold? Do I have some more information on that? What is KWS threshold? Let's Google this. How to optimize threshold. So here they're using like 2 or 300. But here's the super low number. What if I just set it to 1? What happens? Okay, GPT. Okay, GPT. Okay, GPT. It doesn't work. So what if I set to 300? Okay, GPT. Okay, GPT. Okay, GPT. Okay, it recognized, but it also recognized this as OKCBC. Okay, GPT. Okay, it doesn't work. So what if I put 800? Okay, GPT. Okay, GPT. Okay, GPT. Okay, GPT. Okay, GPT. So now it's recognizing it. Okay, GPT. But not the first time. Okay, GPT. And again, it didn't recognize it. Okay, so what if threshold is 1800? And let me start this over and not speak after I started. Okay, GPT. Okay, GPT. Okay, GPT. Okay, GPT. No, it doesn't work. So what was the original number? It was 1e minus 20. How do these e numbers work? So if I make this smaller, the number is bigger, right? Is it? Okay, GPT. Okay, GPT. Okay, GPT. Okay, GPT. Okay, GPT. Okay, so now it's working. Okay, GPT. That's pretty good. Let's try one more time. Okay, GPT. Okay, GPT. Okay, GPT. Okay, that seems to work pretty well. And it actually recognized this multiple times like okay, GBC. So let's do that. Now it would be nice if we could have multiple phrases here. I'm not sure if that is feasible. So that we could listen to it 5 times and then listen for all of those key phrases. But let's actually make these phrases a dictionary. And then let's say that the phrases with the key phrase, and this has to be a string, this plus equals 1. And in a previous video, someone said that I can do something like dict. How would it work? I can make it so that I don't have to initialize this. Like number dict. Python number dict. What was it? I have to check that comment. Okay, this is the video. So I created this chatbot in Python that will answer questions about PDF files with the ChatGPT API. And someone commented that I can initialize the dictionary with default dict int instead of generic dictionary. So then I don't have to initialize it. So I can do this. What is this? Do I have to like import default dict? Where is default dict? Let's search for default dict. Do I have to install collections? Is this in the standard library? Import collections. And do I have to say like from collections import default dict? Okay. If I don't have to install anything, I'm okay with this. So then I'm going to have all of the phrases and how many times they occurred. And then I can sort this. So I can do phrases equals sorted phrases, and the key is going to be what? How did this work? This had to be like a lambda function. And how do lambda functions work? I guess it's like an arrow function. So this is like the lambda and then like x, and then we're going to get from the x dot value, and reversed or reverse is true. Something like this. But it doesn't seem to work. So let's ask ChatGPT. How do I sort a dictionary by the value maintaining the keys? Okay, lambda as the key. Okay. Lambda item 1. Aha, item 1. So I have to say items. Okay. So this is going to be phrases.items. And then I can get from that the 1, which will be the value. So items will be a tuple, or this x will be a tuple, and then I get the 1, which will be the value, and that's going to work. But why did we have to do this kind of stuff? Do we really have to do that? I really hate this kind of stuff in Python. I guess it's convenient, but it just looks so horrible. K is V for KV in sorted. Can't I just do that? Or no, I can't do this because this is a list of tuples, but I don't really care. So the first tuple is going to be the most frequently occurring phrase. So I can just say sorted phrases is that. And then I take sorted phrases 0, 0. So this is the most frequent phrase. Frequent phrase. And let's say frequent phrase is going to be that. Okay. And let's add here the phrase. So this is going to be frequent phrase. And this is an F string. And let's actually print this phrase here. Print heard this one. And this is an F string. Okay, let's try this out now. So if we run this, OKGPT, and I forgot to do it multiple times now, but we actually did recognize this one. So if I say OKGPT, OKGPT, then the second time it recognized it, OKGPT, but not every time. So what if I actually put the 5 in there, and then I run this again, OKGPT, 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 OKGPT. So it seems that if it recognizes it this way, then it recognizes OKGPT, but the other ones it does not quite recognize correctly. And we didn't really see any of the sorting here because we recognize it different way every time, which is kind of annoying. So could we do exactly that? So what if I just say this? While true, we are going to do this. And then we are going to check. We're going to get the sorted phrases. And we are going to say if sorted phrases 0, 1 is less than 3, or if it's greater than or equal to 3, then we will break. So we will wait until we have one that we have said 3 times. So then hopefully we will always recognize this OKGBC. And it will ask us to do that until we actually say that 3 times. So let's see if that works. OKGPT, 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 OKGPT. Okay, it did what I wanted it to do, but it doesn't still recognize it. OKGPT, although sometimes it does. So here, as you can see, we first heard KGBC, and then we heard this, and we heard it again, and then we heard it again. But that's pretty good already. So we only would now have to make it recognize it better. So the threshold, what if I put here 5? Does that do anything? Let's start this again. And now we're actually detecting this. So did we say that 3 times? We did say it here, and we said it here. And is there one more thing? Yes, up here. So ADVD, which is interesting. And if I now say ADVD, then it recognizes that. But if I say OKGPT, OKGPT, it doesn't recognize it. So that's pretty annoying. So, damn it. Let's put this back to 10. So what if instead of this, we are going to just listen normally. So we're going to do this thing. And then we are going to say for phrase and underscore in sorted phrases. If, actually I have to say, let's call this heard. So if phrase in heard, then we say print, actually then we say this, detected, this one. And we don't break, we just do that. So now we're actually just listening, and then we are going to check from all of the things that we said. So let's see if this one will work. So I'm going to start it again. OKGPT, OKGPT,
OKGPT, OKGPT, OKGPT.
So now it detected that I said OKGPT, but it doesn't detect OKGPT, OKGPT,
OKGPT, OKGPT, OKGPT.
So that doesn't work at all. Why does that not work? Because I need to again convert this to a string. Otherwise it's not going to work. So let's try it again. Alright, so I said probably 20 times OKGPT and still it doesn't recognize it. What on earth? OKGPT. Damn it. It should recognize. Did I really say... Apparently I said a different thing every single time, which is very weird. So what do we do now? This, of course, recognition with a T, not a Z. Let's still add this heard here. Heard this. And I will also add here. Let's do for I in range 10. I don't want to ask more than 10 times. So let's try it again.
OKGPT, 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 OKGPT.
Alright, so now if I say something, it detects something. OKGPT. So now it works. What on earth? OKGPT. OKGPT. Okay. That's so weird. OKGPT. So I'm not quite sure what to do here. This is kind of a bad speech recognition. Now, maybe if I chose a better phrase than OKGPT. So I can remove this from here now and I can try again. So let's say the word I was gonna detect was hello, mister. Then should that work? Hello, mister. Hello, mister. Hello, mister. Hello, mister. Hello, mister. Hello, mister. Okay. This is not going to work. What is it recognizing? Every time I said hello, mister, it detected a different thing, which was not hello, mister, except in the end. But I mean, I guess I should have gone to the end and see if it actually then recognizes the word. So let me do that.
Hello, mister. 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 Hello, mister.
Hello, mister. Hello, mister. Hello, mister. Hello, mister. Hello, mister. Hello, mister. Hello, mister. Hello, mister. Hello, mister. Hello, mister. Hello, mister. Okay, it kind of works, but still, it's kind of crappy. Alright, so I slept on the problem overnight, and I think I have figured out a solution how to do this. So, basically, I wanted to detect multiple key phrases with this live speech key phrase detection. Because I think there's something to this key phrase detection that because you give it a specific word, it will then try to detect that word more easily. So even if the regular version, when I just listen to any words, even if that one wouldn't detect the key phrase that we want to listen for, then this will actually detect it because it will say, okay, this is close enough. But of course, we can't pass in like a list here. We can only pass one single phrase. So I thought, let me solve this issue with multiprocessing. So I quickly asked ChatGPT how to do multiprocessing in Python, and it is fairly simple. So we just import process from multiprocessing, and then we define a function that we want to run in multiple processes, and then we just open those processes with this process class, and we give the target to the function we want to run, and then we can pass arguments to that function for each process. And then we just start the processes, and then we do the join to finish the processes in the end. So what I created is this. So I import the multiprocessing and the PocketSphinx, and then I created this listen word function that takes in a word, and then it just listens for that word with this key phrase detection. So basically the same thing we were doing here, but in a function. Then I created listen words function, which will take a list of words to listen, and for every word it will create a new process, and it will call the listen word function in that process with the given word. And then we just start all those processes, and then we join all the processes. And we just call listen words, and we can put whatever words we want here, and then it will listen to just these words. So let's see if it now works. I have here hello and Jack and OK and process and computer. So these were the kind of words that it can easily detect. So let me run Python 3 multi.py. And now if I just speak here, then nothing will happen. But if I happen to say hello, for example, which I only said once, but it detected it many times. As you can see, it's still detecting hello, so it doesn't work perfectly. But also, if I say computer, then it will detect computer. Or if I say Jack, it will detect Jack. And what else did I have here? If I say OK, it will detect that. And if I say process, it will detect process as well. And if I say hello Jack, OK, process computer, then it will almost detect all of them. Although we ran into some error here now. I'm not quite sure what happened here. I wonder if this now crashed the whole thing, or can I still say hello? Okay, I can still say at least something. Maybe one of the words doesn't work anymore. Process, computer, computer, hello, Jack, okay. But what I can do now is maybe I can add into separate processes all of the words that we detect in this first part. And then we can listen to all of those. And if any of them match, then we are going to do something. So let's try and do that. So let's remove all of this. And maybe we would want to do something like this. So we still want to get the sorted phrases. So we still want to get the most frequent phrase. Or we want to know when we have said some word or detected some word the same way 2 times or 3 times. But we might do something like, if we have detected the same word 3 times and I is less than 5, or sorry, greater than 5, or greater than or equal to 5, or I think I start from 0, so maybe 4. So that means we are always going to listen for 5 words, but if we don't get the same word 3 times, then we are going to listen for 10 words. And actually, I will change it to 2. Let's do that. And then we are going to have the phrases here, but we have to convert that into a list. And we can do that by saying that the phrases equals phrases dot values. Sorry, not values, keys. So these are all the phrases. And then we can say now speak, and then let's move our function from here. So we have the listen word and the listen words. So let's put those here. And let's import multiprocessing. And then in the end, we are just going to say listen words, and we're going to pass in the phrases. And then it should tell us when it hears something. So let's just add here maybe something like, make this an F string, and let's say detected this word. And let's make this a string. I guess it won't be a string when we do that. Sorry, this way. Like that. So let's see if this is going to be better. So now we are going to run Python 3 recognize.py. OK GPT, OK GPT, OK GPT. And we ran into an error. Perhaps we have too many words now. So we can't open that many processes that are using the microphone. So because it detected a different word every time again. So let's actually make this just 5. And let's forget about this counting of the words. We don't need this. We are just going to have phrases, which is going to be a list. And then we are just going to add into the phrases.append the string of the phrase. And then we are just going to pass the phrases into this. And I can remove this thing, and let's try to do that. So now we are detecting 5 different words. Now I guess we don't have to detect 5 different words if we in fact hear the same word multiple times, but let's just try it for now. OK GPT, OK GPT, OK GPT, OK GPT, OK GPT. And again we got an error. So what does this mean? Error opening raw input stream. Illegal combination of I/O devices. So wait a minute. Why did this work? I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 words. Do I now, wait a minute, how many words did I actually use? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, maybe the first one where we are listening to the words is somehow allocating one microphone. So let's try to do 4. Maybe there's a limit of 5 microphones that you can use at the same time. So let me try this again. Okay GPT, okay GPT, okay GPT, okay GPT. And still, wait a minute. What is the issue here? Listen to words. And we are going to do this. So why does it not work here, but it works here? Let's try the multi again. So Python 3 multi.py. Jack. Hello. Computer. 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 Process. Okay, it is working. Why does it not work here in this one? So what if I remove this part, which actually I guess we can remove because we are not going to detect these every time. This is just a setup phase. So I guess if we now add into the phrases, just the phrases we heard last time. So here we heard these ones. So if I try to listen for these, can we then detect those? Let's try it out. Recognize. So now I can say, I guess, something. So if I say, okay GPT, it doesn't work. Okay GPT, okay GPT, okay the C, okay GZ. Okay, that one it detected. ADVD, ADVD. Okay. Okay GPT, okay GPT, okay GPT. Now actually I wonder if there's some issue if I say it too early. Should I wait longer? Okay GPT, okay GPT. No, it still doesn't work every time. But can we add more here now? Damn it, why does it not work? So let's try this again. And the problem is that we are detecting in so many different ways when I say OK GPT. So let's try to do this now 10 times and try to get 10 different versions of OK GPT. Okay, so now we have a bunch of these different versions. We have 10. So can we now manually put these into our list? So let's copy all of these and we are going to put them here. So let's remove those and then these are going to be just like that and comma in the end. So now we have a bunch of things. So let's now try to detect all of these things. Let's see if we again get some sort of error from too many input streams. Actually, no. OK GPT, OK GPT, OK GPT, OK GPT. So now it's actually working every time, and we are detecting multiple of these. OK GPT, OK GPT. Okay, and sometimes we get this error. Non-type object is not iterable. So we have to figure out what causes that issue. But actually, now it detects it. If I say, OK GPT, then it detects it. And maybe even too often. So, OK GPT, OK GPT. And literally every single time now, it detects it. OK GPT, OK GPT. Okay, now it is working. So now I just have to figure out how I can continue after this when I detect the word. So let's actually now create like a separate file for the detection of the words and then this recognizing of the word. So if I'm going to create like a detection.py. So wait a minute, or let's call this init.py. And let's have only this thing in there. So we are going to have an empty phrases list, and we don't need this processing thing, and we don't need this, and we don't need that. And let's just save it into like a file. So let's just do like json.dumps. How does this work? Let's do import JSON, and with open, let's do phrases.json, in write mode as f, we are going to do JSON dumps. Wait a minute, how does this work? JSON dump, and this will take the file and then the object, or the object first and then the file. So phrases to f, and that's all we're going to do. And then in our recognize.py, and we can, I guess, delete our multi.py, and in our recognize.py, we are going to load the phrases from the file. So we are going to say that phrases equals, or in fact, we are going to do with open phrases.json in read mode as f. We are going to say that phrases equals json.dumps, loads, or load f. And again, let's import JSON. And I guess we can remove this collections import, and now it should work. So now what we have to do is, let's in fact say, if OS path exists, if not OS path exists, phrases.json, then let's do print, you must run init.py first, and let's do sys.exit 1. And let's import sys, and let's import OS. Okay, so now if we try to run Python 3 recognize.py, it will say you must run init.py first. And if we then run init.py, then it should ask us to say OKGPT 10 times. Alright, and now we saved phrases.json, and here are our phrases. And now if we run recognize.py, then it should detect when we say OKGPT, 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 OKGPT. Alright, that is good enough for me. Now I left this recognition finished here, so let's remove that. And actually I will call it just detecting keyphrase. And I guess in init we can just say, please say the keyphrase. Because it doesn't have to be OKGPT, we can say whatever we want. But now how do we actually continue when we get this detection? I think we have to use something that I used in a previous video, I just forgot already. So let's actually ask ChatGPT, how could I send a message from the processes to the main process? Something like this. I think there's some queues or something like this. Yes, queue. So we have to create the queue, and then we are going to listen for that queue. Okay, so let's try to do that. So let's import queue from here. And do we have to pass that queue? Yes, we have to pass the queue in here. So let's pass in queue. And I guess we have to pass it in here. When we create the process, we pass in the queue. But do we pass in the same queue for everyone? I'm not quite sure. Let's see. So let's say that the queue is going to be queue. And do we have to do something else? No, just that. And then queue put. So we can say here queue.put. And actually we can just put this string in there. And I guess we can remove this print from here. And then we can wait for the queue. Now I'm not quite sure what this process join will do. Can we call this when we say listen words, can we then after that say that result is the queue.get? But we set the result queue here, so actually we have to move this outside of this. So we have to do that, and we have to pass in here the queue as well. So listen words needs to take the queue. So now all of these processes are talking to the same queue, apparently. So then can we just do queue.get? And if I'm correct, this queue.get will wait until we get a message from there, and then it will have a result, and we can print it. So we can, I guess, then do print result. So let's see if that will work. Let's run it again. And again, we got illegal combination of I/O devices. Why did that happen? Let's try one more time. Okay, now we are detecting the key phrase. And if we now say, OK GPT, OK GPT, OK GPT, it is not working. And I think the reason is that we are waiting for the processes to finish. So do we actually have to do this in here? So after we start the processes, actually when we call process start, when they're all started, then we will wait for the queue. And then in the end, we will join them. That makes more sense. So let's try to do that. So let's run it again. OK GPT, OK GPT. And actually, it's not going to do anything anymore because now we got the queue already and it will then stop, I guess. Or it won't stop. That's the problem. It won't stop because we are not breaking out of the function or returning from the function. So I guess we have to like return something false. Does that end the process? Let's try to do that. So if we run this again, we got this error. I have to figure out what this error is. Let's start it one more time. And if I now say, OK GPT, we detect it, but it's still running. So how do we exit the process? Can we just do process.exit? Because we don't need the process anymore. So let's try to do that. OK GPT, process has no attribute exit. Okay, so what do we have? Process dot, what do we have in there? Can I say that this is a process? Or how does, no, I have to say list of processes. Then this should be process dot something. Close, kill. Let's kill it. Let's kill it directly. And let's try to run this again. OK GPT. Okay, so now it actually works. And we detected the DVD. And then we exited that. Now, I'm not quite sure what we will have to do in the final product. I guess we're not going to exit. Yeah, so, I mean, we don't have to kill it. We can just join. Although, I mean, the join is going to happen in the end anyway. So I'm not sure what we have to do. But really what we have to do is we have to say while true. And then we have to say that the result or the detection is q.get. And then we can print the detection. So now we can detect multiple times, and then we can add our own code here to do something with like the ChatGPT API, or like start recording the microphone and then sending that to the Whisper API to actually detect the whole thing that the user wants to say. And then we have to somehow exit from this because, of course, now we're never going to get to this join. And I will call it join, whatever. But then we can somehow break from this if we want. But I'm not sure if we want to even break from it ever. So let's see now, finally, if we can detect multiple times the key phrase. And again, we got this error. So let's not care about this error at the moment. OK GPT, OK GPT, OK GPT, OK GPT, OK GPT. Okay, so I think there was one time where it didn't recognize, but OK GPT, damn it. OK GPT, OK GPT, it's not working again. What is the problem here? OK GPT, OK GPT, OK GPT, damn it. Maybe there is something wrong with my detection or the queue. What if I still put here the print statement? So print, and let's just say here like heard. And then let's see if we get heard and detected every time, both of them. OK GPT, OK GPT, OK GPT, OK GPT, OK GPT, OK GPT, OK GPT. Okay, it is not for some reason detecting anymore after a few tries. Maybe there's like a limit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Do I have 6 words in there? No. Or does it only detect one of the words once and then not again? Maybe that is the problem. So did we actually detect a different word every time? Kind of. So here it was is he, the DVD, OK TV, and then we heard 3 things at the same time. OK TVD and OK GBC and OK TVD again. So maybe that is not correct. Very interesting. Oh, I forgot my return false in here. So that is of course the problem. So let's remove the return false. Now it's going to work. And we can finally end this video. So let's run it. And we get the error. Damn it, that error is very annoying. OKGPT, 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 OKGPT. Alright, now it is working. And it works every time. OKGPT. Alright. Now, we did get one error in between, so I have to figure out what the problem here is. Maybe I can just put some try catch in the process and then just not care about this error. And then that error about the microphone or the raw input stream, I have to figure out. But anyway, this is now going to be the end of today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. And let me know in the comments if you have some suggestions on how to make this better. And also let me know what I should do with the final product when I actually get the device that we can talk to. What should I connect it to? What should I be able to do with it? Anyway, make sure to subscribe if you want to see the next video on this project, and I will see you in the next one.